What is up, everybody? Happy Friday! Welcome into the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your host and your virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my co-host and tag team partner in life, my wife, Miss Nicole. Nicole, what are you drinking? What are you thinking?
You know, my signature Tito's cranberry and orange juice. What about you, Mr. Nick? I need you to tell me what you're drinking and our three things for this week.
Mr. Nick is having his usual red wine, Seven Oaks as usual. I have first round King of the Ring, first round Queen of the Ring, and Anarchy in the Arena returns. But let's kick it off and get it started, everybody.
Get into
with
it.
The King of the Ring. I just thought that was awesome. We're upping the production value here.
Like Robin Hood, we're about to do some freaking archery right now. Damian Priest is gonna come out.
Hold on, we're having some issues streaming to Facebook, it seems. So I don't know what is going on here. We're hoping the issues get resolved.
All right, well,
but
here on YouTube,
we're working through it anyway. So first round. As always, we start with the ladies. So we had 3 opening matches. Io Sky and Natalya. We had Zoe Stark and my favorite, Ivy Nile. And we also had, I'm gonna get this right. Positive thoughts. Lyra Valkyria and Dakota Kai. How was my aim?
Lyra Valkyria.
Well, so I didn't do good.
You're close, babe. I'm proud of you.
All right. I got close enough. Lisa is back. Did you miss me? We missed you, Lisa. Welcome back. Welcome back in to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Love you guys. So let's get right to it. Io Sky opened up, our former WWE Women's Champion, opening round of Queen of the Ring, taking on, Natalya, the wily veteran. Well, she is.
Yeah, no. I didn't realize they said it was their first time they ever fought. I think the beginning was pretty stiff, like the missile drop kicks and like kind of the hits. Like it felt like, I don't know, very Natalya, like kind of like scrappy opening. Very stiff, and I kind of think like you knew Natty was going to lose. Like Io just dropped a belt at Mania. Natty's your wily veteran, as Nick says. A good safe pair of hands to make Io look good, but I kind of think Natty looked good in this, like with the superplex, and then she did the sit out power bomb. I'm glad that they kind of let her get some offense in. But still, like, of course, Io at the end was going to hit her moonsault and win. Yeah. I'm just also, side note, happy. This match went 10 minutes. That's longer than basically every single match in the first Queen of the Ring tournament. So I feel like we're starting off good. It was a fun match between, like, again, I think you can put Io as a veteran, like, 2 good women in the ring, a 10-minute cute, no, I don't want to say cute match, that's so terrible, but like a good match, 10 minutes, Io comes on top.
Yeah, no, it was phenomenal. Again, she's such a wily veteran, as I like to say. That's what I'm going with. In the ring, very fluid. A lot of springboards out of Io, and she's just great in the ring as well. So pairing them together, it was a great first round match. Yeah, again, you knew Natty wasn't.
You knew Natty wasn't going to win him, but it was still a good match.
I love the end too, with the reversal of the sharpshooter into the corner turnbuckle that set everything up.
That looked brutal too. Like her face just like.
Yeah, so it was a very nice start and to the match. Again, no squashes in any of these matches. There weren't any squashes. So
also, before you move on, this at the end of this match set up the next match. They announced that Asuka was not medically cleared, so Dakota Kai was going to take her place, and later in the night we'll be facing Lyra Valkyria.
Yes, Lyra Valkyria, which we'll skip around, but who, at least my notes on that match, her debut, her Raw debut, I wanted to see. Well, we'll go back and forth. I mean, we're going to cover all 3. So, but
I'm with you.
I just think she very generalized, vague match. I was hoping a little bit more to see more out of her, like what her character is, what her skills are in the ring. She seemed very generic, just with feathers. So I don't know. I didn't like what she was putting down. I wasn't a big fan of that, of her work, and even her finisher looked kind of rushed and awkward. I don't know. It didn't. The match itself didn't do much for me. I don't think it did much to put over anybody. I don't know where she's going to get a push out of it, but yeah. And I feel bad for Dakota Kai too. It's like she's getting lost and all this stuff.
I have a lot of feelings about this match, and I will try to keep it short because I know Nick thinks I talk too much.
Oh, stop.
Shout out to Botchamania. But honestly, what prompted this match was a Becky Lynch promo segment with Michael Cole. Morgan comes out. They have their little schmoz. We're just kind of talking like Liv is like, respect me. Then Damage Control come out, and then Becky and Morgan kind of square up, but like back to back, like, oh, we're gonna take them on. And then of course, you know, now that Morgan's heel, she rolls out of the ring. Damage Control starts beating up Becky. And then Lyra comes out to make the save, which again, it's still 2-on-3, and then everyone else bailed. It was the shot of getting Lyra and Becky standing next to each other, because I believe, again, correct me in below, but Lyra took the belt off, the NXT women's belt off Becky.
Yeah,
yes. She took it off Tiffy, and then she put it on Lyra, because also Irish girls gotta stick together. So that kind of, and I think that was maybe a better thing of like having her do this big entrance, because we still necessarily don't know her yet. Again, if you're not watching NXT, they did do a promo package. Don't think it did much for her. I know, like when we get to the men's, like they did a promo video package for Ilya, and it made him look like such a badass, that all him bloody and doing all this stuff. And I don't think the one for Lyra really did much for her. I don't feel like she's really connecting right now. And I kind of said this previously, that a lot of the women in NXT, I feel, still need to cook more, and maybe they think maybe on the main roster she'll get that experience, maybe being around Becky and more veteran people.
I don't know.
She got beat up a lot by Dakota in this match.
I'm not a huge fan. Yeah, I think they rushed up a bunch of people for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But maybe I'm a huge fan of Dakota Kai. I really liked her in NXT, even when she was a face and Team Kick and all that stuff. Like maybe I just have like the history with Dakota that I was honestly rooting for her more. And I think she got, you know, I guess maybe that's how you get to root for the baby faces, to watch them like get beaten down and they come back and then they hit like a really, I don't like it's Nightwing. And it just, I don't know if maybe they didn't time it right, or maybe Dakota jumped too soon or too late, but it looked very awkward. And I was like, that's her, like, I just didn't do much for me. I'm hoping, like, again, you know, I support my ladies. I hope being up on the main roster with some veterans so can get some seasoning, start connecting with the crowd. Maybe this was, again, correct me down below, but was her first match on Raw, or maybe?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Actually, because this went less than Natty and Io, but it did go like almost 9 minutes, so at least it's still longer than all the women's matches last, 2022 they did it? When Selena won? I think that's 2022. But so progress, not bad, but I hope, you know, Lyra can only improve.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a train wreck, but it wasn't great. But talking about, you kind of make a nice segue into, I guess, what was the mid-card match. And my favorite, Ivy Nile, relatively inexperienced on the main roster. Ivy Nile and Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark going over with the Z360 with Ivy Nile. I think this is a very athletic match. We saw a lot from both of them. Ivy Nile is just tremendously strong with the suplexes and the moves that she does. Yeah. She did Bulldog off the top, which I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen that much of her, period. But the Bulldog off the top, to me, because don't they call her the Bulldog or the Pitbull? Pitbull. I think it would be kind of cool to make that somehow her finisher, like a Bulldog off the top that she does. But ultimately, she falls. Zoe Stark's moving on to the next round. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, some girls that need some more seasoning. I really love Zoe Starks. I really actually thought she looked really great in like the white. I think that's the first time we saw her in something that wasn't like black and red. It was a little rough, this match. I know we're doing Raw kind of out of order, but they filed the Ilya Ricochet match, which I don't think was a great spot to put this match in, because the crowd was so hot for that match that I feel like the crowd wasn't necessarily into this. And then once like there was Ivy was hitting kicks that was supposed to connecting, and then Zoe kind of like sold it, but then she's like, oh wait, I shouldn't sell it. Like, you're not actually connecting, and it was just kind of like a weird schmaz. I really like the Z360, and again, like I said this before, you get like someone that hits it. Like when Rhea Ripley sold that beautifully. Like Trish Stratus didn't really do it. I don't know if Nivy was kind of like in between these. I think there's so much potential in the two of them. I don't think Zoe's gonna win Queen of the Ring, but I hope this puts them on a better platform. I hope they get more TV time. And again, it was more than the other year, but less than Io Natty. So I don't know if that played into it. I don't know if something got cut, but like I wasn't a great match, but I'm hoping future like they can go up, because I feel like the potential for two of them is so good and so there that I'm like rooting for them to like. I hope in like 5 years you're like, oh my god, like Zoe's a star.
I really want to see Ivy Nile as a heel. I think when they do this Chad Gable thing, the Chad Gable stable, that's gonna be trending. The Chad Gable stable.
I think that's it, because I'm Team Zoe and you're Team Ivy.
Yeah, and so I think once that she turns heel, I think she'll be a really, really good heel. I don't know, I think she'll learn to talk better. Like I see her being like just a smaller Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Well, also coming out of this, it'll be Lyra and Zoe next week, which makes me a little nervous.
Well, and then you got the opportunity, make the most of it. You're on a good stage, right?
True.
So, any last thoughts on Queen of the Ring? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
I don't know if you're seeing that for later, but I know you have the ones that are supposed to be tonight for SmackDown. Do you want to just bring up the ladies and maybe because you're saying who will win Queen of the Ring? Or our SmackDown latest.
So tonight for SmackDown we have
not to interrupt you, but also maybe afterwards because they announced on Raw that there's going to be 2 matches. For one men's, one women's match that is going to be on the house shows. So Shayna and Zelina Vega, which I feel so shitty because Zelina won the first one, and now you're putting on her.
Yes, Lisa. Hashtag Chad Gable stable. We're getting that trending. We're trending that, and I'm going to patent it.
I know we haven't
really. And then sell it to WWE.
That's going to be a good triple threat match,
and it will fund our podcast.
But I just feel bad that she won she's the reigning defending Queen of the Ring champion, I guess, and she's on a house show loop.
Yeah, well, I think she's going to get the win there and then move on to Io.
Do you think she's going to beat Shayna?
Yes, I think she is, because she's a reigning Queen of the Ring, correct?
She is. That's why she's on.
So good storytelling moves her into Io, especially if Io, which is my prediction to win this. I think Io, upon losing the WWE Women's title at WrestleMania, I think this is her next step, is to give her Queen of the Ring. But that's the way you do it. The old Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. To be the woman, you got to beat the woman. Same thing. I think she's going to beat Selena. Selina's going to get the win, and then you just beat the old queen to become the new queen.
Well, I'm sorry. Who are the SmackDown people tonight?
Sorry. Yes. SmackDown, we have Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae, but again, which means Jade Cargill's in it. So Jade Cargill and Piper Niven. That's going to be interesting. That'll be an interesting match. Naomi and Nia Jax. Your favorite Nia Jax. Nia Jax. We're going to get that trending. Hashtag Nikki loves Nia.
Oh, don't you dare.
Get it going.
No.
Hey, Tazzy. Welcome in. What's going on, party people? We're getting ready. If you don't know, Tazzy's got a channel as well here on YouTube. Subscribe. He's got an awesome watch-along party.
No, Nikki doesn't love Nia. Move on.
So who's your pick? I don't know. I mean, you have a lot of really talented, like with Bianca and Jade. Nia Jax could win it. She could be queen.
I think I'm honestly surprised Tiffy's not in it. So I'm thinking if Tiffy's not going to be queen in the ring, then she's going to be Money in the Bank winner. I think Tiffy needs one of those things. I don't know. I think it's as much as.
Yes, Steven, there was. Sorry, we're gonna get once I get. And Tazzy's here, so Tazzy, I'm going to call on you on this one. You're going to have to teach me how to get a poll in here because there is going to be. Nikki, you should start that. Start that hashtag.
No,
Nikki loves Nia.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of her. Moving on from Nia Jax. God, Lord, I can't say that. So, again, I think it's Tiffy's then going to win Money in the Bank. I think as much as we like Jade Cargill, I think it's going to be too early. I think not that Bianca needs it, but I think I would like Bianca to do it. I don't know if there's anyone on really Raw that we just talked about that I'm like, ooh, I guess again, like you said, EO. I don't know. I'm more intrigued by the men's bracket than the women's at this point.
Tazzy says, I think Tiffany will win Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I think it was because everyone was speculating if she was in this bracket that she was going to win. And if she wasn't going to win, then she's going to get Money in the Bank. And I just love a heel with the Money in the Bank. And I think Tiffy with that briefcase walking around.
Yeah.
Oh my God, her with the custom pink one.
Oh God. Wait, you tell me all the time that you hate pink.
Yeah, but again, it's not my personality. It's Tiffy's personality.
Oh my God.
You know, I'm black and gray. But for Tiffany to have, oh my God, they shrink it and make it look like a little pink purse. I do love a custom Money in the Bank case. And I think it's a heel with a custom case is just so much more fun than, none of, I guess, more maybe.
That's fair.
Heels win it, but.
Yeah. I mean, because it's a heelish thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you're smart, you're waiting for someone to be injured to do it. So it's really kind of, it's in general a heel thing. Like, an honorable thing to do is like, didn't John Cena do it the one time where he's like, I'm going to cash in at like
that's when he
WrestleMania.
cashed in?
I'll do it. But yeah. Like he called his shot because he's an idiot.
Oh, because
he's an honorable guy. Idiot. Just take the belt.
Well, even heel Baron Corbin called his shot.
Yes, Tiffany would be.
And
she would be. She would be, Lisa.
She would, for sure. But Queen of the Ring, I don't know. I think I may be rooting for Bianca here.
Yeah, well, let us know. We got a bunch of people chiming in now and joining the chat. So phone lines are open. So make sure if you want to call in and chime in, the link is in the description. So we're going to open the phone lines up pretty soon, around another 15 minutes or so as we get through our fun topics. But we started with the ladies and we move on to the men, where we saw Jey Uso fill in. Well, Finn Balor had an opening round match originally scheduled. Mm-hmm. And, all right, take it away.
I'm sorry, babe, I love your butt. It makes no sense because before Raw even went on air, they announced that Jey Uso was taking the place of an injured Drew McIntyre. So Finn Balor's whole promo makes no sense. He's like, I'm getting a bye. I'm like, are you not following your company's Twitter page or, X, whatever the hell you want to call it? Like, this was announced well before, so I just feel like it makes Finn kind of look stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
it was already announced, so like everyone that was at that show was watching, like you knew Jay was taking over for Drew, unless you're like under a rock. But us as wrestling fans, this is our passion. Obviously, we do this as our side project. Like you're following stuff. Yeah. So I would think, like, I don't know. Again, sometimes I worry about like WWE thinks we're all idiots.
Well, kayfabe wise, yeah. Like if you're going to the website and following along that much, yeah.
But it was on there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I personally would have loved the idea of King Balor because he's the prince becoming king. The other thing too is I don't know, is this one of those where you become King of the Ring and you get the title, or do you become King of the Ring and you get a title shot like previous years where like Brock Lesnar I think won King of the Ring. He didn't do the gimmick and he just won the title shot, right? And in which case, storyline-wise, that makes perfect sense to me because now you set up something with him and Priest.
I did like that line when he's like, "Well, the prince becomes the king," and I thought that was good. But like, I don't get if you want to get into the match. Like, I just feel like maybe again, I protect my Irish people. I just feel like they kind of did Finn a little dirty in the finish. Because again, I'm not a fan of Jey Uso doing that spear. I don't think his spear looks strong, and now he's using it as a finisher against Finn Balor. Blows my mind. Like,
you hate this. You hate his version. I don't know. Everyone uses a spear.
Everyone uses
in the grand course of the spear,
and his spear's not great. And now magically it's his finisher
because his cousin uses it. So now everyone and that's
my
it seems
a ballerina doesn't make me a ballerina.
Well, the spear's gonna be very important in this whole bloodline storyline because that is gonna be what sets up Rock Roman, or what has already set up Rock Roman, seemingly. So I'm just saying, you hate his spear for no reason.
I don't. There's no. It just doesn't look. There's people that have better spears. We had that conversation.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who have way worse ones.
But,
I don't know. What do you say?
Whatever. But again, this match went.
Tazzy says Gunther for King of the Ring. I kind of want Andrade to win it. Interesting. Andrade, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Andrade's ever gonna get like.
I think he'd be a fun Money in the Bank winner. Andrade to me needs to be heel. He needs to be with a heel Selena Vega. Again, one of my favorite programs was Aleister Black. Andrade, Selena, that whole thing was chef's kiss to me. I think Andrade needs to be heel. And I don't know, like with him with Dom, well, no, Dom's with Carlito. Never mind, I take that back. That was the other beforehand. But I don't, again, Andrade to me shouldn't be a face.
So moving on to another one of the Raw first round matches, we see Ilya Dragunov, and this is the exact example of like, even though he's been on the roster for like a while now, like some NXT call-ups being great, like in their first match, Ilya Dragunov taking on Ricochet, super athletic match, which I knew Ilya had that ability and was great in the ring. Phenomenal match, back and forth, a lot of springboards between Ricochet, Ilya. He has an interesting finisher. Like I knew it was finisher. I don't know what to make of it. It's like he's so fluid in the ring. It's cool how he hits that finishing move. I forget the name of it.
With the H-bomb or the
the H-bomb. H-bomb. That's what he calls it. As you see in the picture, like I just don't know how I feel about it as like a finishing move. It's cool. It's always one of those things like punches and like I don't know. Maybe I'm Marcus. I just hate like punches as finishers. I don't know why. So for me, that's the only thing that I was hung up on in this match. But the other thing is, we also saw over the course of WrestleMania season, the weeks leading up to WrestleMania, Ricochet was beating down Judgment Day left and right. He was the foil to Judgment Day, and now he loses in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. Like, can the guy catch a break? Like, I know Dragunov was just called up and just drafted, but to me, like, Ricochet needed the win. You could play off of as like a rookie against a little bit more of a veteran talent.
I love Pretty Ricky. I really do. But he's kind of like your Natty at this point. He's that safe pair of hands that look good and make you look good. I don't think he's got that speed. I want to say speedball, but really that speed rare championship that looks awful.
Oh yeah. The ADD championship.
Everyone was saying that they were glad that he didn't come out to this. But this was like a fun match, had a hot crowd. Again, that's why I think the other match suffered because they followed this. I think it was a hot back and forth again, but I think Ilya needed the win here. Like he got called up to Maine. I feel like Ricochet can take a loss. Again, he's lost a bazillion times, and he comes back, and him being in this tournament or him being in a ladder match, like you, like, oh yeah, let's fucking Ricochet. Of course he's in this or doing this. I think your big call up, and I'm thinking I want to see again Gunter Ilya 2, Electric Boogaloo. I don't think there was a doubt in my mind that Ilya wasn't going to win this, and I think again his promo package or video package before this made him look like him being bloody and being crazy. Like,
Tazzy disagrees with me. He loves it. He loves
no,
the.
so I know you're.
Sorry.
I agree with Tazzy. I think with you, I think you're old, like thinking of like Big Show just doing a punch or whatever. I think with him his opponent laying down and him just going down into the mat, I think that's more force of him, like more of his, obviously his whole body is coming down on you.
Yeah.
I think that's more than just Big Show going like. Ugh.
No, that's the one thing that, and to their credit, you've seen it more and more in the last 5, 10 years plus. With UFC, MMA, it's an MMA type finisher, like where, like even like Karrion Kross was using that at one point in time, where like I think more in Impact to set up his like straitjacket finisher or whatever. Yeah. But like it's like a blow to the back of the head. You start to see that, so I get it, and it's maybe more of a realistic finisher in things, but I don't know. I like how he hits it. He hits it really good. Like when he hits it, the sound it makes, everything looks great visually. So
I don't know. Maybe I'm higher on this match than you are. I think there's so many like fun spots into it. Like I love when Ricky hit the moonsault, and then Ilya hit the belly to belly, and like Ricochet just bounced off the outside. It was crazy. A lot of stiff stuff, like the Hurricane Runner from Ricky. The corkscrew plancha that also, everyone goes crazy for. The lariats and stomps from Ilya. I do like Ricochet did the lion salt that looked really great. But then, you hit 2 H-bombs.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think it's a fun match. I think I would love to see them go again. Maybe I'm just more of an Ilya fan than you are.
Yeah, I think so. I want to see him I want to see him with Imperium, which brings us to the main event of Monday Night Raw, which saw Gunther,
the ring general,
overcoming a banger with Sheamus.
Banger.
So this is Gunther Sheamus 4, to be correct.
Well,
overall thoughts.
Singles match though, right?
Well,
they counting the triple threat.
They were referring to it, I think it was the 4th time. But I guess triple threat. I'm not 100% sure. To be perfectly honest, but again, these two guys just beat the living shit out of each other.
You literally saw Gunther's handprint on Sheamus's. What was it, like his upper back area?
Yeah.
Just like
on his back, and then the announce team made note of it. Later in the night, or as immediately as it happened, you knew. I mean, any Gunther match is going to have a shit ton of chops.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. So. We were corrected, Steven. It's 3. Got it, Steve.
Thank you, Steven.
On it.
But also, Sheamus he did his beat to the barn. He actually did 17 instead of 10. I don't know. I think it was a good back and forth match. Like obviously, to me, Gunther was gonna win, but they targeted the knee, which I thought was great. Because now I think he's doing more that's like that one leg crab submission.
Yeah.
So Kaiser getting involved, getting him on the rope, and I think it's a fun one when the referee's like, "You're out of here!" That's always a fun spot to do.
It's just tough when I don't know. Again, it's a question what I like about Gunther is that even though I know he uses the powerbomb a lot and he uses his Nosferatu splash as a finisher.
He didn't do this match,
but. Again, he always wins in different ways, which that's what I really enjoy. But I guess that's maybe the gimmick of the ring canal. But yeah, when we talk about who could win King of the Ring, he is my pick I think the ring general becomes the king general.
I think because he hit he did the first power bomb into the crab, and then like Sheamus got the rope break, and then there was some more back and forth, and then he got him as a half crab again. Yeah, and then I think it was interesting because again, it's like you targeted the knee so much and got so beat down. I think this maybe protects shape. Like I don't know. I think tapping out is a little. I don't know. I'm glad. I can't describe. Like I'm glad he tapped out. If that makes sense.
No, I get it. I'd rather him pass out. I don't know. I hate a babyface tapping out, but I get it. But it's starting to happen. We're seeing it more and more. So.
I think because there's so much history there, and him just coming back and then trying to protect his body, and then like him, just targeting that so much. And like, would you rather tap out to protect yourself in the long run, or let me pass out 5 minutes later and then really mess up my knee?
Right.
So maybe it's more self-preservation.
And
that's what I was trying to come across, more self-preservation. That I'm going to live to fight another day. Like this is not our last rodeo.
That's fair. So I will throw this out here. Who will win King of the Ring? I already said I thought Gunther. But the match is looking ahead to SmackDown on the men's side. Randy Orton, AJ Styles, which that's going to be another great match.
I don't know.
That's probably main event. I would think that's
I would think that's main, and I really don't. I can see it going either way, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I can't pick that one. I think.
I'm like, they both lost at. I'm so excited. They both lost at Backlash.
So yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I could totally see it either way. I also think I'm thinking big picture about like conceptually where it could go, and like when I look at the bracket in the next match, which is Angelo Dawkins, who's filling in for an injured Bobby Lashley versus Tama Tonga. Assuming, and I'm not sure if they're in the same like next bracket, but like I don't think Tom is losing his first singles match. Like we said, he wasn't going to lose his first match. I don't think he's losing his first singles match either. So it would make more sense for a face to be moving along. So I think Orton on the SmackDown side of things probably.
I don't interrupt you, my love, but it literally just hit me like a ton of bricks. Mm-hmm. His father is King Haku. Do you think maybe they put give him out of the flipping gate, give him King of the Ring because his father was King Haku and Ming and all that stuff?
That would be amazing.
Most feared man in history?
That would be crazy, and that would be a great push. But and the other thing is, well, and here's a wrinkle that, and I don't know that it would alter much because it's so early on in his infancy in the bloodline, but like the fact of potentially he could be King of the Ring. It's like the whole royalty, the bloodline angle. It's like, well, I'm a King of the Ring now. Like, so it just adds another wrinkle and layer to the whole storyline. But it's a little too early, I think, for that.
Because I don't want to see him beat Gunther. And I think after losing the IC belt, like having the longest reign ever, like I feel like you need to give Gunther something.
So the other match, just to clarify, is Baron Corbin, who's ex-King of the Ring, and Carmelo Hayes. So you do have, an up-and-comer, a new NXT star, but like who I think Melo is going to get the win tonight. But you have an up-and-comer, former King of the Ring. Yeah, the SmackDown side of the bracket.
Maybe that's a wrong choice to put Tama in. Because I would think it'd be fun to see either Gunther Melo it or see Ilya Melo again.
How crazy. I don't think we'd see this, but just the tease because it is heel, but like to see Gunther in the finals against Tama Tonga.
I'm like, I would be here for it. I don't know what's storyline.
I just don't want to see I really don't want to see a predictable final where you're like, I just know this, like even like, and I wasn't watching. Admittedly, I wasn't watching it at the time, like when Stone Cold won, but I felt like as a fan, as an educated fan, that was just when I was getting back into it. But as an educated fan, I felt like I would have been like, Jake the Snake's character doesn't make sense as King of the Ring. Like, so like Austin being the ringmaster, whatever it was prior to that, like it just made sense, and like and everything coming up. So like I just feel like there's some characters that title just makes sense for, and like you just know, and in previous years sometimes you just know like, oh, the guy they're facing, yeah, it's going to be a great match, but they're just not going to win. And like I like the idea of like not knowing who can come out on top, and I think that suspense and that question always what keeps us interested as fans. And like to have Tama Tonga in the finals, and his father was a King of the Ring to try and be the heir apparent, and Gunther, who's the ring general, again, two heels, but they have their own, like Gunther's got kind of a faction to back him. It would be a cool story.
I guess I would need to look, because obviously not WWE, but did they have an indie match at some point? Like, I don't know if Tama went to XPW or
Sure.
Right, that's where he was, or right in XPW, where his place in Germany. Like, I don't know, or like Tama was just exclusively New Japan. I don't know. Someone you'll correct me down below, I'm sure. But again, I love seeing like first time matches. Like again, like you got like a new, and I think this is the point of this new era. Like I love seeing new. Give me something fucking new. And Tama, Gunther, I'm here for it. Like I don't know if it's gonna make sense to whatever, but like, do I want to see an exhibition match between the two of them? Yes, I do.
Yeah, it would be, and I think Tama also has the ability to have the most success as a singles star, like between him and Tungaloa now, or whatever you want to call him, Camacho. like he had it.
I don't know. I really love that. I try to get that across in our Backlash preview. Like when it was Randy and him in the ring together, and he just looked like such a crazy person, and they were making sound commentary. Like Pat McAfee was like, that guy's doing this to Randy Orton. Like he's not afraid of Randy Orton. So I love him being that crazy, maybe like his father, like unhinged, like I'm not afraid of anything. I'll go toe to toe with anybody. So having that mentality against Gunther, I'm here for that.
No,
I'd love to see those choppy chops.
It would be great. So I don't know. Let us know. What's the match you want to see? Who do you want to see win King of the Ring? Who do you want to see in the finals? I also had this question. We'll go back to it maybe when we open up the phone lines. I think that's better because we have one more topic to get to in our big three, and it is who's your favorite King of the Ring, and we're going to talk about that later. We're going to get because
that's new to me.
I know that's why I threw it out there. That's why we're just going to have an organic show. Yeah. So we'll get into it. But our third topic of the evening, we switch over to our friends at All Elite Wrestling.
We're crossing the divide.
Tony Khan's All Elite Wrestling getting back at it, where we see Kenny Omega fresh off of an injury with his diverticulitis and all, chair shots to the gut, and B triggers or BTE or whatever we're calling it, EVP and
trigger
and TPE and OPP and ADD. So fresh off an ass whooping. Let's just be honest. He's in the hospital. How you can't? Aside from
he was
like
in the hospital for this. Anyway, go on.
So he comes out and basically says he still does, in fact, have a lot of power and sway because he is a VP, one of the four. I wonder if Cody still has stuff. Probably not. But anyway, I digress. So he comes out and says he still does have power in matchmaking power, and he's going to have an Anarchy in the Arena match, which is this our third or fourth? Or I mean, it feels like forever. Pitting what we're gonna call, I guess the Elite 2.0. I guess the Elite 2.0. That's what I'm gonna go with. Which is now the Young Bucks, not Jungle Boy. What is he calling himself? Crybaby? No, Cry Me a River. No, what? Scapegoat.
Oh God.
Cry everybody.
You're doing your bit.
Whatever he's calling himself now. Jack Perry. You're like that with Nia. I'm like that with Jack Perry. As well as Okada. Kazuchika Okada. So the Elite 2.0 are going to challenge 4 members of AEW. Of what Kenny Omega feels is AEW. Those 4 members. Okay. Oh, wait, would you like to talk? Or would you like...
I would love. So going back to Kenny's promo, because I love Kenny, and you're making me upset. So he goes,
story of my life. This is what I hear.
So this is what he's setting up. Yeah, so he was like, "Oh, thank you, Matthew and Nicholas, for saying it's not personal." And he's like, "As the EVP, it's not personal, it's business." And he's like, "As the EVP, then I'm going to take care of business before I take care of this business." And he like put it to himself. I was like, "Well, is he actually getting the surgery?" So interessance there. But he said that Double or Nothing would be the 5-year anniversary of their first pay-per-view. The whole really kicked off, AEW. So he's like, 5 years of Double or Nothing. Like, let's throw the rule book out the window. Anarchy in the arena, and it's going to be. He said, I think he said the new Elite. I don't know if you want to say Elite 2.0, but again, the Bucks.
The new Elite.
He says Okada with such his Japanese kind of accent, and then he says Jack Perry with such kind of venom. To me, like, I don't know if Kenny likes him because it felt a little different. And he said against Team AEW, he's like, the first 2 guys on my list is the best tag team in AEW, shots fired. Best tag team in history, shots fired, FTR. And he said the other 2 people will reveal themselves on I wrote it down, hold on, first come, first serve basis. And then he does his beloved, I bid you adieu, goodbye, mwah, good night, bang. So then you and I widely speculated when we were watching it, like, I was worried. I'm like, who is at that card level to be mid to high on the card, on the roster, that can go up to FTR to go against the Bucks? And I was like,
so pause.
Right.
You need, to that point, what we were arguing with is you need people on that level, right? To Nikki's point, you need someone. So you have the tag team, right? Mm-hmm. You need an elite tag team. You have FTR, who he announces in his hospital bed, which, just to give him a little shout out because he's funny, he said it was a very authentic looking hospital bed. Yes, it was, Stephen. But I digress. But you need somebody in there that's gonna, like, now you need at least a top tier mid card guy and at least one main eventer. So yeah, we're going back and forth. Who's authentic to AEW?
Like an AEW like we say ECW originals. Like, who's an AEW original? Like, grown up there. Like, who's someone that
a pillar maybe?
A pillar maybe. So to be on that level, and we looked at each other and we're just like, and you did say Hangman. And I was like, okay, great. And then I'm like,
yeah, Hangman Page would have been.
And then I was worried. I was like, oh, is it gonna be like Top Flight or like who's like? Then I'm thinking all the lower guys are like.
You did mention a bunch of random names.
Yeah, or like I'm blanking on them, being the Elite. Being the Dark Order, like Silver and Reynolds, like all these kind of like, or Private Party, like these guys that kind of like the younger kids that kind of growing up right now. I'm like, well, they can't. It's like, who is that mid to up card that's AEW original? And then
I mean, like, well, you have name like. So we thought about. So here's a couple of names we threw out. So we had Hangman Page. Mm-hmm. You said Ricky Starks, just as an upcomer. I haven't
fucking seen him.
I said Jon Moxley is one of the guys who
but again,
turned
he
the tide.
Debut the 5 years ago.
Right. So he's one of the originals ish. From there, so that Moxley was a name. I mean, you could argue MJF is a big enough name, but what beef would he have kayfabe wise?
Him coming back is not going to be that match,
right? So you're losing a lot, I think. And what eventually becomes revealed as the match was a little disappointing in terms of. Again, like, I thought Hangman was a shoo-in and a perfect. Like, again, I know he was kind of heelish as he left.
Turning.
Yeah.
He was like in the midst of a turn. Heel turn, but then like took time off. So I don't know necessarily what's going on there.
But he did get fired from the Elite, so he would have been perfect for him. Yeah. Perfect for him to be, the name to come back. And again, he was a world champion, so he to me should have been one of the names. Ultimately, the names that get decided are And to your point, to Kenny's point, a first come, first served basis, one of the first people to get his ass kicked by the Elite was Eddie, your favorite.
My love. Besides you, of course.
Eddie Kingston.
Eddie.
And then we see Bryan Danielson, which I said, I called, I have to say it. We were sitting next to each other, obviously, as we always do, watching wrestling. And I said Bryan Danielson, which...
I said no, it doesn't make sense.
Which really, yeah. And it didn't for a lot of reasons, but it also, like, if you're going to do Danielson, why don't put Moxley as the other person? And the only thing I can think of is that this is just kind of a, for lack of a better word, and I don't have like kind of a sucker match for the Elite, the new Elite to get over. So when you have, and I know you love him, but like I wouldn't be shocked if Kingston eats the pin in this. Okay. You have someone there that can do it, and it's there's a little bit of tension already built in that can allow this.
So I think it's obviously, but this might not understand. Like FTR and the Bucks have their thing, and then you have Bryan. That makes sense because he has the beef with Okada, and Okada injured him, and that was that whole big thing, and all that. So I get that. But necessarily, I don't think Kenny should have called it Team AEW. But I guess Bryan Danielson is so AEW that he's on that committee that basically runs Tony. But to say that it's like Team AEW doesn't for Bryan. I don't know. It feels weird, but I guess he does have that connection with Okada. My Eddie, doesn't necessarily fit. For me, is the connection with FTR, him and Danielson don't get along. Wasn't the one, what was the last art? Well, I know. Well, I think you just need him to come out like he did with the last Anarchy when he came out looking crazy with the canister of gasoline.
Right. I don't know. A couple of my other notes that I wrote down. So we talked about FTR. He calls them the greatest tag team in AEW, which, it's like, fuck you, Lucha Brothers. Good luck.
I think
Step aside.
That was the fuck you to the Bucks.
Well, it was, but also the great, the Lucha Brothers are good. They're very good, and they're an AEW original tag team, and they made their name there. It's sad to them. I feel but again, I get it. They're one of the best tag teams. I don't mean this to be a negative thing, but it's just I get it. You're putting over a great tag team.
I think Kenny said that to hurt the Bucks, not to put down any of the other tag teams. And also, Rey Fenix is fucking injured again.
Well, I took it differently, but again, fair enough. And then the other thing is, was the timing right? Should they just waited to just do a 4-on-4 when Omega was healthy? I don't know. That's just kind of a thought that I had in my head running rampant. It's why not just wait? And you have if you waited, you have FTR. Okay, FTR and Bucks have their heat, right? If you want to do that, the two tag teams are set. Kenny already built-in storyline, perfect. And then you can put Hangman in that other spot, and bam, there's your 4-on-4. That to me would have been the perfect thing to do. I don't know if the timing was right.
I don't think, again, I was just they're not going to wait for Kenny because I feel like it's going to be a while for Kenny. And I think the money is Kenny Okada in an AEW ring. I don't know. I think it'll be a fun match. Again, I don't know.
And the fun part about this is his AEW team is 3 of the 4 are not AEW originals.
Yeah, again, FTR has been there long enough at this point. I know, Bryan is very hands-on backstage, but for him to be AEW versus you guys, it doesn't.
It's not at that point yet.
And I guess maybe that's a testament to AEW that you have these homegrown kids that everyone sees as lower. That you're not building anybody. Again, they built MJF up. I think that's the really the only person they can say. And then unfortunately, he did get injured and carried so much and did so much and had to step away. But
going to WWE.
Les Six Scots. Jericho, why am I blanking on his fucking name? who's suspended, married to what's her face, Sammy Guevara.
Oh yeah,
like,
him.
Again, who should be a homegrown megastar?
Yeah, that guy.
Fucked up so much. Like fucking broke man. Or Jeff Hardy's face. He could have been somebody if he didn't do all this stuff on the sides. Like Darby, if he didn't break his leg, and I guess he was trying to climb Mount Everest, but like him, and I guess Jack Perry, and it's just like Ricky Starks. What are you doing? Like I feel the Acclaimed that again I'm not really loving Max Caster right now, but like Anthony Bowens like could have been something. Private Party, something like you have these kids or like where's Griff, where's the Dark Order, like you have these
he takes them to a point
kids, but you're so far down.
Hook should have been
Hook is getting the fuck out of there.
He is, but he could have been their next big main event star.
If Hook, you put in Hook instead of maybe either one of them, I would believe that. Like he's AEW, but he's like halfway on a banana peel.
Yeah, no, he's out.
But like that's sad. Like they had such.
Which then I wonder what. Like I guess Taz would probably still. I mean, $20 is $20, right? Money's money. Money's green no matter what, and especially with the money, which apparently, just off topic, they gave like Mercedes Moné like $4 million a year. Like
crazy. Bitch is making crazy money. Hasn't wrestled yet.
You know what?
That deal.
Forget the gimmick. She is the CEO of AEW because she's probably making more. Like enough money to be that. This is just don't Tony, just do the right. Don't throw around money to just everybody.
And I don't know if Ed's on, but like Ed and I had this conversation last night. And me and you had this conversation. I was not in love with watching AEW on Wednesday. You knocked down Swerve, and since he won the belt, he's got knocked out every week, and it makes me upset because he's a fucking star, treated like a fucking star. You had Serena Deeb out of nowhere knock out Toni Storm. I'm wearing my Toni Storm shirt. Mm-hmm. Love her. Why is she knocked? Like you literally knocked out your two champions. Your top women's, your top men's laid flat on your show. Which babyface heat, but they're not really like Tony to me is not like true babyface. Like I know like Swerve is more babyface now, but to me still kind of like tweener. Like that looks shitty. And then they had their openings. I know like the EVPs took over. The whole opening was the Bucks, Okada, and Perry. I'm like, you're not making your people look great. Like, why is your opening doesn't have your fucking star that has your belt? Like, no, it's fair. I went on a rant to you and I went on a rant to Ed last night. I'm like, I love AEW. I want AEW to be good, but I feel like Wednesday was a fuck up. I really fucking.
Well, so what you're saying, and this is the most appropriate.
I
know. It's bad booking. Just get it right.
I know. I want them to be good, and I feel like they're not trending good, and it makes me sad all day. So,
I don't know. I mean, hopefully next week, everyone has bad nights. We have bad nights. Hopefully tonight's a good night. So tonight, actually, and we were supposed to make this announcement earlier, and I completely shit the bed on making this announcement. So tonight was supposed to be ladies' night. We had to reschedule. So ladies' night is getting rescheduled. So our first official ladies' night will be next week.
Ladies.
So get ready, and this is going to give us a quick break. So this is our preview for next week. So we got Zoe Sky coming next Friday to the show. So ladies' night, bring it back in. I know. Nikki's going to definitely take the lead on this. So, but we love our women's wrestling here on the Nicole Wrestling Happy Hour.
Women support men, support good wrestling, support good peoples. Everyone having a job. More competition makes for better wrestling. Like, was it all high tides bring up all ships?
No, rising tides raise all ships.
There you go.
Proper.
You got me.
I use my cliches enough.
But I want just wrestling to be good.
Yeah, let's get it going.
Like we've been talking about, we've been watching wrestling for 3,000 years, and I just want good wrestling. I just feel like having your two champs lay flat at the end of their segments looks a little crappy.
Yeah.
And I like both of them. But I digress.
So, with that being said, phone lines are open. If you're new here, hit the like, subscribe button. We don't do that enough. We need to be doing that more.
I know you used to
I put the
like
scroller,
spike, and I
the
used
little
to do
tickler. I know, we hit the old Samoan spike on the like button.
Booing our own.
And if you're listening live, do it live because we love it live. But regardless, we're going to open up the phone lines. If you want to chime in, talk wrestling, any type of wrestling. It could be from the 1980s if you were a fan back then and you want to talk about Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and all that fun stuff. But whatever you want to talk about, lines are open. So that being said, he changes his name every time. He's driving me nuts with this.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, I'm going to get even. They're changing his name every time. This is what happens when we up the production value of the show. We're going to bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, he corrects us when we are wrong. He's our statistician. He deals with data. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve.
Steven!
Steve, what are you drinking? What are you thinking? Is he there?
Steven, are you on mute?
Oh, no.
Steven, get back!
No.
Steven, get back!
No, we lost him. Oh, man. That went a little longer. I forgot that goes twice.
I told you they go so long.
They're fun. No. Oh, no, Steve. All right, we'll try it again. Second try.
Steven, don't break my heart.
Steve, bringing him in. We gave him a great intro last time. I'm not giving you a great intro this time, just in case. Steven, you there? Steve.
Do you have him muted?
No. Steve.
Steve, you're breaking my heart.
We lost them. I don't know. So, I don't have any other good cues, good drops for the for the jumped calls. Steve, you got to log back out and log back in.
You gotta refresh your browser. This is like, are you on Edge? Are you on Chrome? Are you on Firefly? No, Firefox?
This has been a show. We open it. We have technical difficulties across the board. We're not streaming on all platforms. We're streaming on the ones that like us right now, which is YouTube and Twitter. So if you're with us, we love you. You're probably going to listen on delay later, and we hope you enjoy the show. And if you're listening on delay, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and check in live with us. We love going live. This is the fun of going live, just like on Raw. Fridays at 6 p.m., we do this show. So, all right, third time's a charm.
Steven, don't break
Third
my heart.
time is a charm, Steve. Let's see. Is he there?
You put all the money in the sound effects.
Woo! We did it! We got him here! Thank you. Thank you to everybody. Good night.
Hang up.
What?
What are you drinking? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, I've been staring at that window behind you for almost the whole show. There's this unusual blue light coming out of it. And I'm like, what is going on the other side of that window?
The lighting is
It's
very...
the storm. We have this.
We have storm windows.
Storm thing. So if it rains, it doesn't come in the basement.
Is Dexter cleaning up his kill room on the other side there?
Yes, he is 100%. Listen, you better watch what you say on this show because Dexter is listening in.
Everybody, listeners, put in the chat, put in the comments what you think is going on the other side of that window. Best answer, well, doesn't win anything, but you know.
No, I'm going to get this over. First off, I am determined to do a giveaway on the show, and we're going to call it the Mr. Nick's Regift Away. And it's going to be a bunch of stuff. See? Exactly. Nikki said I couldn't get this over. I'm determined to get this over. The Nick Club Regift Away, which is going to start, even though I love him, with Danhausen socks.
Oh
He's
God,
giving away all my pro wrestling tea stuff. So he doesn't want me-
Stockhausens. Yeah.
Well, if you didn't say which company sent this stuff, we get so much stuff and we can't wear everything.
Oh.
We love it all, but we can't wear it all. So we're gonna give it back to the community, and in this way, this once. Listen, I'm putting this out there. Our goal is to get to 50 subscribers by Memorial Day. So this is gonna be part of your gift package, Danhausen socks. And you know what? If you don't get them, you won't be cursed. So at least be subscriber number 50 and then email us at nickclubwhh@gmail.com. That's our first gift away.
You didn't wear those yet, right?
No, look, does it look like it? Look at this. Look at it. It's in packaging. Perfect.
Just checking.
Anyway, Steve,
Okay,
sorry,
but-
I digress. What are you drinking? What are you thinking?
I actually have a drink today. I just yes. All right, hit the key. I know you're gonna.
Wait.
No.
Oh, all right, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
I wanted a dark and stormy, so I went out and got the ingredients for a dark and stormy.
After last week's show, where you mentioned this dark and stormy,
No.
Nope.
No, that was something else.
that wasn't last week.
Dr.
Oh,
Stormy is rum and ginger beer.
wait.
Dark rum, preferably Goslings, and yes, ginger beer, which is
What
hard
was
to
last
find
week?
in
Was
this
this,
area.
last week's drink had something to do with the weather.
Because we were in France, he was drinking champagne.
Yeah, but wasn't it had something to do with the weather?
It had something to do with champagne. It was a drink my nephew's wife turned me on to called an Apparel Spritz, which has champagne in it. Not very much, but champagne and club soda and whatever Apparel is. It's like an orange flavored kind of thing.
I was way off. But anyway, I digress.
Well,
Yes.
Cheers,
Okay.
Steve.
Cheers, Steve.
Drinking with us a lot.
First of all, shout out to Dave Meltzer for his annual 5-star rating for a WWE match.
Yeah, there we go.
And now it's out of the way. He doesn't have to worry about it until next year.
Well, he did give like 6. Didn't he give 6.5 stars to Danielson and
Well, that wasn't a WWE match, though.
Is that do you get an extra star? Is that the deal? You get an extra, like, it's like a curve. Like, you remember in college, is it, I guess maybe it's like normal, like you curve tests. Is that like one of those deals? Is like, if you're an indie, like if you're not WWE, you get an extra like half star.
I think if you're Japan, you get an extra 2 stars if you're New Japan.
Basically, yeah. It's
You know what? And what was funny about that is I thought I liked that match. I didn't think it was 5 stars, but I liked that match.
The are you talking about the Osprey Danielson or no?
No, the Cody AJ
Got 5 stars.
Oh,
from the weekend.
yeah. Actually, yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I would not give that. It was good, but like again, like old school match, probably like 3.5 to 4, maybe. I don't. Yeah, but
That
I'm
sounds
very
about right, and the crowd helped with that a good deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Second thing, I don't want to see Gunther take on Ilya until at least SummerSlam in front of a big stadium full of people.
I agree.
So
That's
not in the next round of this tournament, not in this tournament at all, really, and just save it. Save it for at least SummerSlam. If you could save it for Mania, that'd be even better.
Well,
something tells me they're going to do it in the at the Austria premium live event.
so you make a good point, but I think so. The way it's structured, it seems like
Jay Ilya is the next quarterfinal.
So
do you have Jay go over Ilya?
Well, I think Ilya's going to win because remember Drew showed up during Jay's match and Jay still won. So I think that is how Jay gets eliminated. Every year there's always some nefarious activities that happen in the King of the Ring that eliminate someone that you think is a contender. And Jay, that's 100% what's going to happen. I think Drew McIntyre or someone else is going to interfere in Jay's match, and he's not going to be the King of the Ring. And I think Ilya moves on. The thing that I think is interesting is that, and I don't know yet, and I probably should have researched this more, but like, and if it were me, the booking should be to get to the, like, you're eventually going to mix Raw and the Raw draftees and the SmackDown, right?
That's the final is where Raw SmackDown, but that's what Kennedy was saying, that it would be eventually, you would think Ilya Gunter to go on to the finals at Saudi Arabia.
Right, which
so
even,
then Jay would have to beat Ilya, or I don't see Gunter losing.
No, so but to the same point, okay, so then I'll revise my prediction then with that new information to me. So that being said, what I would say is I still think it's going to happen, because my whole prediction is that I want to see, like many other fans, Ilya with Imperium. So, and the only way for Ilya to join Imperium is to lose to Gunter. So he's going to win over Jay and lose to Gunter. That's what I'm calling it.
But also, that's what Steve is saying, that you don't want to see that on a Raw.
I know. Steve, I
didn't mean to speak for you, but
no, I know, but that's why we're all here.
That's all right.
but still, like, you don't want to see it on a Raw match. I get it, but like, he's still, to the average fan, a new superstar, the casual fan. So for him, and this is something I will say this. I know for a fact, is it Shawn Michaels, one of the NXT coaches, if not Shawn Michaels, on one of the documentaries said that, like, who you come up to the main roster as is not who you are at NXT. So that being said, you have to view it as, yes, he has a great history of being a phenomenal wrestler in NXT, in WWE lore, right? But he's coming up with a clean slate at the main roster, and you're viewed as a rookie. So that's what I see is, like, Gunter's been up there, been successful. He's the ring general. He's going to come out and beat him and show him the ways of, like, if you join up with me, that's why people join stables. That's why these guys are the followers, right? And that's kind of my ultimate thing, is that he's going to face him. And I know, Steve, to your point, yes, on a bigger stage, that match would resonate. However, you can still save that match, start it now, and make the bigger match later, a year from now, when he breaks up with him from the stable. So that's kind of
you can start the storyline now or soon, but don't have them face each other until one of the big time premium live events.
That's fair. I mean, I get it. Like, when you see what they can do, and, like, there's so many talented wrestlers on the roster that, like, and NXT, like, we were talking about this the other day with oh my god, Djokovic. Yeah. And, like, he had a phenomenal, like, his Keith Lee matches from back in the day. I remember, like, Nikki and I were in that party. Like, you told me how great he was, and he was great, but, like, I don't know.
Him and PWG, him and Andy's were so great. Then he came on the main to NXT in his lower, and then he had those phenomenal matches with Keith Lee again. And then they changed his name 4,000 times, and how you spell it 4,000 times. And then he went away, and he was T-Bar for.
He was with a mask.
I think it was
not Regeneration. What is it? Retribution.
That's what I said. So then he's back to being that. So, like, I don't know.
But I just it takes time.
But
not everyone's going to be.
Him and Gunter have also said publicly that they don't want to be a tag team.
Yeah, which is why they're going to be a tag team. Steve, so tell us 3 things. What is your third thing?
One last thing.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt this person is listening, but to the guy who was hassling Sky Blue at the match yesterday, I know exactly the type of guy that you are, because I was around those people for 20 years. Leave your kid with the wife and check into the nearest Motel 6. Fuck you.
Exactly.
I just want
That's
to
a great.
fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. You know what it is.
Well played. That's a great idea.
I think because she was Sky Blue was wrestling Rachel Ellering in an ROH taping, and there was a gross human being with a child saying the grossest things to Sky Blue. He got ejected, and I think Rachel Ellering posted on her Twitter, it's like, sexual harassment is not heckling. Like, don't, like, again, we support women here, all women here. We love women wrestling. Like, don't be, guys, don't be gross. Like, that's the grossest fucking thing. I don't know how you are raised as a person to just think you can say that to somebody, whether you're at a sporting event or not a sporting event. And I'm glad Aubrey stepped in to defuse the situation to get security in. Rachel Ellering protected her. It's just like, again, Steven, I just want to chant, like, fuck that guy. Like, again, we can be critics, and like, I'm critical of wrestling here, but like, to be disgusting, to degrade a woman the way he did is absolutely fucking disgusting to me. And Steven, thank you. And
agreed.
You cannot like a person as like or rest, but like the way, like, could you imagine like a woman like yelling at a man like fucking Jack Perry, like, wow, like, no one fucking says that shit.
You can't even think it, because again, I married her. I know she's a great person. Like, we're both great people. Like, it's just be a good person. Don't like. And I also wonder, like, it's interesting, like what's great is, like, you have Aubrey, who's a female referee, like, hearing all this, so like made sure to act quickly and get the guy out. Like, to like, how do you, like, with a kid right there, like, how do you say some of that?
Being so disgusting.
And just awful.
Just
but
like, I don't want to end this on a dead note, but like, people like be like, this is maybe not beyond wrestling. Like, be kind to each other, be respectful of each other. Like, people are going through stuff. Like,
exactly, shaking my head.
Yeah, it's just like, you don't, just because you pay money to do a thing doesn't mean you can say every gross thing. And this poor girl, and like, I don't say poor girl, like putting Sky Blue in anything, but like, she's out there doing her job, she's out there to entertain people, not to be grossed out or harassed by some piece of shit.
Right.
And again, when you go to wrestling places, or to be a spectator, you can cheer, you can absolutely boo, but you absolutely can't say the shit that guy said. Like, don't be fucking disgusting. Respect people, respect women, respect men. Don't be disgusting.
Yeah. Just love pro wrestling,
yeah,
right?
Like, you're there to see the. I don't mean to cut, but it makes me so angry.
But yeah, it's awful to see that, and again, and Sky Blue will actually be at the event, so. Shameless self-promotion, but Sky Blue dealt with that as best she could and phenomenally. And I'm glad everything was handled, and hopefully the right precautions were taken, that guy is banned future events and things like that. But she will be segueing. She will be at the event that I'm attending next week, May 18th and 19th in Middletown, New Jersey. So, shameless self-promotion, DNS Productions, DNS Wrestling Collectibles. Let me get this right. Helping us with Zoe Stark next week. They're sponsoring our interview session. So if you're in the area in Middletown, New Jersey next week, make sure you make the trip. Over 50 superstars, including Jerry Lawler, will be there. We have Wardlow that's going to be there. Sky Blue will be there, like I mentioned. So again, it's going to be a great event in New Jersey. So if you're in the area, stop by and check it out. That being said, any last thoughts, Nikki, before
No, I want to end it
SmackDown?
on the high, because
we don't want people to bring us down. This is a
and
positive.
again, I'm not like, there's nothing, Steven. I love you bringing this up, and like, it needs to be said, and like, some you just need to be better, and like, this is our community, this is wrestling, and maybe there's, as we know, there's kind of a dark underbelly of this, and I think maybe not to toot our own horn, but be Nick doing this podcast and making it fun and making it light and being respectful of it, maybe that it gives a little something. I don't know. I'm excited for SmackDown. I'm hope the women matches go longer than 5 minutes. The other ones have gone more than 8. I want to see LA Knight. I don't know.
Steven, don't you dare say.
Don't you dare.
No, it needed to be said. It was actually a story, because that's why we do this every. Sorry, but like that's why we do this every Friday. It's like, again, you call in, and that's why the lines are open, is to talk about whatever you want. And if that's a story that affected you and you want to talk about, bring it up. We want to talk about it, because if it's something you saw in the Indies, if it's something you saw at AEW, WWE, like, let us know. We want to hear all about that, because it's the experience. We're all fans here, and that's what the show is about, is just loving pro wrestling and making it better for everybody.
Yeah.
And
it's more of like, that's it, like one bad apple spoils the cart. It's like there's many of us that like love pro wrestling, respect pro wrestling, and love everybody that doesn't. And you have this one piece of shit being a piece of shit. And I feel like we need to come out and speak about this and be like, hey, like that's not us. That guy does not represent us. Like, we love and respect every single person that walks into that ring and performs.
Exactly. So, that being said, it's been a great show. We appreciate you all.
Love talking to you guys.
Coming out, listening, working through all our technical difficulties. But
yeah, nice hanging in, guys. It's been
next time,
it's been a day.
Will be better. But this was another great Friday night. We can't thank you enough. This makes Friday night so much fun for us. We've made this part of our routine every Friday. We talk wrestling every day.
Every day.
Now we get to talk it with all you in a different scenario. So if you're new here, if you're one of the new people listening to us live, we appreciate you. Hit the like and subscribe. We do this, again, if you don't notice it from the background, every Friday at 6. You can call in, talk about whatever you want. Wrestling related. Nikki loves doing that. I don't know why. And I'll never get used to it. But that being said, we appreciate you. Until next time, get your drinks ready, get your snacks ready. SmackDown's about 35-ish minutes out. So enjoy wrestling. Until next time, you don't have to go home.
But you can stay here. Bye.